Hello, BookTube. I thought we'd do a little mail. I keep forgetting to do mail on camera. That's bad. That's not good. Mail is a staple of this channel. I've got a little bit of mail that we can go through, including the New York Review of Books, which arrived and I have been steadily consuming. This is, I gather from the table of contents, a summer issue. Absolutely insane. Just insane. If you are the editors of the New York Review of Books, one of you watches this channel, that's crazy. In the old days of dinosaur newspapers that you and I both came from, that was a firing offense. What on earth? You knew a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, that this was the length of your table of contents for this issue. You knew that 5, 6 weeks ago. Put an ad there. Sell that space. Even an in-house ad would generate some money. You don't just leave blank space. Blank space is absolutely anathema. That was a shock to open that. But I looked at the table of contents. There's Peter Godfrey Smith, whose name will be known to you. You probably know some of his books. He does a roundup of a whole bunch of new books on animal cognition. And he's just the person you want to do that. And the piece is really good. A little bit grudging, but really good. But the highlight is Peter Brown. If you're the New York Review of Books, you can get Peter Brown to write a piece on religion. And he does. He reviews Peter Heather's big new book, Christendom, which I don't think I ever reviewed. But I've been waiting to see what kind of reviews it would get, and you can't ask for better than Peter Brown. So this has been a pretty good issue. One thing that struck me was in the personals at the back. There are personal ads at the back of the New York Review of Books. They are a wild trip. And there's one here that's clearly by someone who is homicidally insane. How does it go? Performative top wants power-hungry bottom. Wolfish Hephaestion in search of true Alexander. Dare bring the wolf home to Olympias? Mother dearest will snark, who's the harlot? Those of you who know your Alexander the Great biography details will know the last book this person read before they went insane. Don't answer that ad. If you get the New York Review of Books, don't answer that ad. But then let's do the mail here and see what we have. We've got a little bit. More is probably coming today that I will try to just set aside so that we open these things on camera. It's an absolutely lovely day, but warm. Definitely warm. I think we're going to hit the mid-80s today, which we haven't had in months and months and months and months. Barely reached that at all last summer. Definitely warm. All sorts of protocols had to come out of mothballs today. And as always, they catch you by surprise. Especially for, the last week in May. I wasn't expecting those protocols in the last week in May. All the windows open, ceiling fans going, and probably the most onerous protocol of all, no huge land-gobbling walks with my little bean. Her spirit is willing, but her flesh, it's dangerous to do. She is prone to overheating. She always has been. And she has no sense of self-preservation. I imagine that will come when she's older, but right now she just charges ahead until she keels over. So it's many but shorter walks, and none of the huge ground-covering walks that we both love. We both love to just go out for hours. You can't do that when it's like this. And this is, all of this thick, hot air is being pushed ahead of a minor storm system. A couple of days ago, it looked like it might cause rain and thunderstorms. I don't think it's going to cause anything like that. I don't think it's going to bring any precipitation, but it will bring a change in temperature. Will be nice and warm today, and will be nice and warm tomorrow, but then it's going to drop quite a bit. Then it's going to go back to comfortable temperature. But anyway, what do we got here? Oh my. Oh goodness. Okay. All right. The great folks at Basic Books, I swear, they are on the mother of all runs. They are on the mother of all runs for their nonfiction releases. Just amazing. This is coming out in November, so that's a long way from now. And this is by Patch and Bars, and it is called The Impossible Man, Roger Penrose and the Cost of Genius. Surely this is the first Roger Penrose biography. Not just from Basic Books, but at all. Do we have a sheet? Yes, we do. Okay, let's Let's see what we have here. Roger Penrose, thorn in the side of people who are trying to beat back the waves of revanchist religious Christian fundamentalists that are engulfing the whole world. If you're trying to beat back those waves, Roger Penrose is going to come up, and that causes a little spasm of when you see him. But this will be the perfect corrective to that. Let's see here. Roger Penrose, one of the world's most influential mathematicians, philosophers, and Nobel Prize-winning physicists, made science seem like magic. He pursued a world behind the world, where all the jagged fragments of human existence, heartbreak and regret, aging and mortality, estrangement and loss, disappeared, leaving behind only the clean lines and graceful curves of an endless, perfect geometrical universe. He developed a rare capacity to see beyond normal human senses, to think in 4 dimensions, to peer inside black holes, and became the famed creator of the impossible objects, tamer of infinities, and storyteller of the universe. The Penrose singularity theorem proved Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, the most successful physics theory of all time, was incomplete. Penrose diagrams revolutionized how scientists talked about space-time and causality. His impossible objects and infinitely varying Penrose titles inspired artists and architects around the world. Success, though, came at a price. Yeah, he lost his mind. Penrose was attuned to the secrets of the universe. The universe doesn't have any secrets. The universe is not sentient. The universe is not a plot in a bad novel. But struggled to connect with loved ones, especially the women in his life. Struggled to connect with them, did he? I think he found some ways to connect with them rather more than they wanted him to. He chose to spend his final years alone with his research, viewing the Nobel as an intrusion and the pandemic lockdown as a blessing. Okay, and this book gives this flawed, emotionally complicated lone genius, who again and again revealed the unexpected simplicity of the machinery of the universe and inspired wonder among scientists and non-scientists alike, a biography that matches the beauty and tragedy of his life. Okay, can't really argue with that. That sounds pretty good. I have my issues with Roger Penrose and some of the offhand comments that he's made that have made life a lot harder for people who care about the real world. But we shall see. Obviously, I'm not going to read a biography of anybody but Erasmus or William Howard Taft that's coming out in November. I'm obviously not going to do that in May. But on the pile it goes. That's great. All right, then we have this next package. It's quite heavy now that I lift it. So it could be a finished copy of something, which would be good. Let's see. Oh, it is a finished copy of something. Oh, my. Okay. Great. This is from the folks at Yale University Press. This comes out at the end of the month, just a week from now. This is by Paul Knox, and it is called London, A History of 300 Years in 25 Buildings. I don't know. I guess that the light here makes it possible for you to see what a lovely job has been done here with this cover. That is a lovely job. That's just wonderful. A walk along any London street takes you past a wealth of seemingly ordinary buildings. An Edwardian church, modernist post-war council housing, stuccoed Italianate terraces, a Bauhaus-inspired library. But these buildings are not just functional. They are evidence of London's rich and diverse history and have shaped people's experiences, identities, and relationships. In this engaging study, Paul L. Knox traces the history of London from the Georgian era to the present day through 25 surviving buildings. He explores where people lived and worked, from the grand Regency squares to Victorian workshops, and highlights the impact of migration, gentrification, and inequality. Well, of course he does. We see famous buildings like Harrods and Abbey Road Studios, and everyday places like Rochelle Street School and Thamesmead. Each historical period has introduced new buildings, and old ones have been repurposed. As Knox shows, it is the living history of these buildings that makes up the vibrant but exceptionally unequal city of London. Again, with the unequal. Okay, so this comes out at the end of the month. I'm going to stop short of just quipping that this is a trans history of London architecture because I'm hoping that Paul Knox will also stop short of that. That would be great. You can tell me the history of London architecture and how it's changed and how it's been repurposed without telling me on every 5th page that my grandparents were terrible people. You can do that. I know you can. So that's great. That's this month. Okay, so Then we have a box that we'll finish up with a box. And wouldn't you know it, I am not near a pair of scissors. God, it always is true. When you need them, they're nowhere to be found. Well, okay, but I am near this. This will work just fine. So let's use this to cut our way into this box. Not the original purpose of this knife, but the original owner of this knife did not put it to good purpose. He put it to bad purpose. So it's not his anymore. It's now mine. Not that I would have had to involve anybody but myself. This was quite some time ago. I was not an enfeebled old creature at the time. I did not need to involve anyone but myself. I did not need to say to the original owner of this knife, if you turn around slowly, you will see that we are not alone in this field. And he did, and I said, if you think that little knife is going to protect you from all three of them, plus me, you're nuts. I wouldn't need all three. I would need I need 30 now. I'm an enfeebled old person. But it serves a purpose, because it got us into this box. Now, what is in here? Because it's not books. Oh my. A very nice note. Much love to Frida. What we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Great Auric. This is the mystery beast that I've heard urban legends about, but have almost never seen outside the state of Vermont. This is not Oreo cookies. And this is not double stuffed Oreo cookies. And this is not mega stuffed Oreo cookies, my beloved mega stuffed Oreo cookies. This is most stuff mega stuffed cookies. Oh my. Oh my. So each one of these little containers contains 4 of these things, and I have 6 of these containers. 6 packages. Oh my. All right. Well, that put the books to shame, didn't it? So that is our haul. I can't hold all those things up. They'll fall all over the place. We did get 2 books. One will go on the reader for tonight. This thing will go on the pile for tonight, because it's out in a week. And then this thing, I can just chuck it away. I can safely, conscientiously chuck it away, because I'm not going to need to worry about it. Here, let's put this back where it belongs. I'm not going to need to worry about a November book for quite some time. So, not a bad mail haul as far as books go. And then there's the most tough Oreos. Oh my. I actually corresponded with the person who proposed sending these things, and we were speculating on what would happen if I ate all of them at once, as I am very much want to do. We were speculating that what would happen if I ate all of them at once. Would I transcend this reality? I don't know. I'm not going to try it. Not because I don't want to find out, but because I want to make these last as long as possible. I don't see these. They're not for sale in Boston. As far as I know, they're not. So there you go. Quite the mail haul. So I'll wrap this up for now, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.